Greetings everyone and welcome to the Tech Corner. I am Andres for the newsreel and this is my review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. This device has been my daily driver since August 19. I've been using it here on T-Mobile's network in Southern California. I wanted to wait another week before reviewing the device, but the recall has me convinced of returning the device while I wait for the replacement units to be available. More on the recall subject later. Let's talk about the device's design. The phone's design has been talked about ad nauseum, for good reason too. In one word, it's stunning. Unless you hold one for the first time, you can't appreciate the engineering feat Samsung accomplished with the Note 7. Samsung refined the design language from the Note 5 and the S7 Edge while making the Note 7 stand out on its own. Unlike the S6 and the S7 Galaxy variants, it's well documented that the Note 7 can only be had with the Edge screen features. I've heard people express disappointment over Samsung's decision, but the sales numbers speak for themselves. The Edge variants were a hit, and I for one actually used the Edge display. One last note about the design. I love how symmetrical the design is in both look and feel. Last year's Note 5 and S6 Edge Plus were considered the mirror opposites of one another. This one just feels clean and smooth no matter which way you hold it and see it. Speaking of seeing, the screen continues to be bright and gorgeous. The difference this time around is the apparently controversial Gorilla Glass 5. This is where the pains for Samsung began with the Note 7. Is the screen really that easily scratched like Jerry Rig Everything showed? In my testing, I purposely took off the invisible shield I spent $30 and installed in my unit. Especially since it was recalled, I had to take it off anyway. Then I also took off my Spigeon case. I carried the phone in my pocket with keys and my trusty metal business card holder with sharp corners. I dropped them all together in the pockets of my cargo shorts too. So far, no scratches. And as of this recording, I had a very nasty drop at a bakery where it landed on both tile and the corner of some sharp metal table leg, and it didn't scratch up from what I could see, not even a micro scratch. I was pretty impressed, and that makes me feel as confident carrying this phone without a screen protector as I am with my S7 Edge. It's tough for screen protectors to stay on a curved screen. That's what really irritates me, but alas, I'm comfortable without it. And that's a huge plus for me since the screen protector affected my S Pen usage. I'll get to the S Pen later. But a phone isn't good enough for me if it's just a pretty device. Good thing this device's beauty is beyond skin deep. The internals are roughly the same of the Galaxy S7 Edge, with a notable difference being the slightly smaller battery, the 3500 milliamp hours versus 3600 milliamp hours on the S7 Edge. On paper, this might not sound like that big of a deal. In practice, for me, it's been the biggest letdown of the phone. I didn't use a measurement tool or app to clock screen on time and such. I went by my normal usage of my phone, which includes checking and writing business emails throughout the day. My usual workday starts by 8 a.m. and wraps up by 10 p.m. No phone battery had ever powered me throughout the day, with the exception of the BlackBerry Passport. The Note 7 drained very quickly. I topped the phone off at least 3 times a day with my fast wireless charger. To charge it this many times is disappointing. On a couple of recent trips with my family, this was truly disappointing as I couldn't take enough pictures at a spectacular place like Yosemite National Park in California or capture enough moments of my kids having a blast at Legoland, California. Being a parent of 2 little ones, those precious moments count. My wife made better use of her iPhone 6 Plus. Now, granted, her phone doesn't have the processes I do running in the background, such as picture loading to Dropbox, multiple Active Exchange email accounts synchronizing, and precise location hunting, GPS. But then again, I did the same and do the same on my S7 Edge without being as concerned for my usage as the Note 7. I'm glad I can use my wireless charger, but too often I found myself at the mercy of the power saving mode. I don't have a USB-C car charger, and I don't trust third-party products. With the whole recall scare, my charging concerns were amplified. I found myself leaving my Note 7 on the charger all the time to keep topping up the phone in the event I had to rush out to the field away from my office. Sure enough, I had to be away very often. I would stream music or podcasts while using Google Maps in Los Angeles freeways. That's one of the few ways to stay sane in this traffic. So my battery at 90% would drop to about 30% during an afternoon. My other issue with the Note 7 happens to be with the processor. This complaint I might have spoken briefly about in my S7 Edge review. The Note 7 feels a bit slower than the S7 Edge. That's weird to me since the internals are the same. Look, the RAM management is really good from my experience on either device. However, even my friends rocking the S7 Edge asked me why the Note 7 felt slower than the S7 Edge. I had no answer. It could be a software bug like someone assumed. And I sure hope so, because that means it could be addressed with the software update. I have not liked the lag and animated stutters. If this only happened when apps were updating in the background, that's understandable. This happens often and a lot, especially while I'm multitasking, which is the purpose of this powerful $900 beast of a phone. My S7 Edge performs better. Now, my Note 5 actually beats out these two with its Exynos processor, but suffers in the RAM department. Aside from those two issues, the phone itself is just what I wanted out of Samsung. I wanted my Note 5 and S7 Edge to have a baby, and this is it. I get the S Pen while enjoying the Edge screen. I use it all. The Edge screen provides easy access to my contacts, while another swipe gets me to crucial apps I didn't want to hide in folders. The S Pen boosts the features of my PDF editing and annotations, while also boosting my OneNote usage. This is what I mainly use on my Surface Pro and iPad Pro with the styluses. For others, this might be a gimmick. For a power business user like myself juggling multiple companies, this is a great help. That combined with business-centric productivity apps, the Note lineup helps me get the job done. In my nearly 1 month with the phone, I have not experienced any glaring issues with the phone. I was always careful to charge my phone with Samsung branded cables before battery issues were reported. I would never leave it charging overnight. I kept the device bedside and on a few occasions fell asleep with the phone at my side after an exhausting day. So now let's address the recall. Naturally, I got worried after more and more reports started coming out about faulty batteries or the possibility of faulty batteries. The issues were not region specific. The early reports, I brushed them off, but something was definitely wrong that Samsung didn't take long to act. From a business perspective, Samsung must have learned something super serious, but not immediately widespread, which is why the recall was initially voluntary. Over the weekend, before the recording of this video, so it'll be the weekend of 9/11, Samsung issued an email advising to power the device down and exchange it immediately. That to me became a bigger concern. My 1-year-old tends to find my phone and carry it to me, so for the safety of my little family, I decided to return my Note 7. Now, I expect to pick up a Note 7 once a fresh cleared batch is available, but God knows when that'll be available. So until then, I'll continue rocking my S7 Edge. But the Note 7 overall is a beautiful phone, fully realizing its capabilities. It is the maturity of Samsung's design language that it first started with the Galaxy S6 devices, and has improved upon it ever since. The fact that it's water resistant, dust resistant, and now can handle tougher impacts or higher drops, and of course the consolidation and the cleaning of a lot of apps and the UX, it is a much more streamlined device that highlights what Samsung's been trying to achieve with experimenting here and there. But unfortunately, because of the issues that the device has run into, I can't fully realize the potential of this phone. Now, I'm actually hoping that my phone might be part of a bad batch for why I'm experiencing performance hiccups. So I'll revisit that hopefully when I get my hands on a replacement device. So do I recommend people to buy it? Well, if you can, if it's available in your region still, unless it's still banned or the new batch are not available yet, I say you got the money for it and you're gonna use what features it carries, by all means go for it. And if you have a Note 5 and you're looking to upgrade to this, look, it's a no-brainer. That is, we're talking about expandable memory, we're talking about water resistance, and we're talking about a bigger battery and an improved S Pen experience. So yeah, it's a worthy upgrade. There you have it. Now, if you have an S7 Edge, well, do you really use a stylus? Then just stay with your S7 Edge. I'll update this video if I find anything fixed with my replacement unit, but God knows when I'm going to get that replacement unit, because as of right now, nothing's available. And this concludes my review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. This is Andres for the Newsreel signing out.